When I go over goals with my clients at the start of their program, something that comes up a lot is that people want some support or some motivation to do a regular yoga practice at home. And often the question that people ask me is, what should I include in my home yoga practice? And while I'm happy to help people figure out the answer to that question, I also tell my clients that it's more important almost how you go about setting up your home practice than it is what you actually do. And in fact, for me, the best home yoga practice is one where what you do arises from what you feel in your body and what your body is telling you in any given moment of any given day. But that the how of how you set up your yoga practice is consistent and allows for some evolution and flexibility as you go forward so that you can sustain that practice habit long term. And there's a few things that I recommend that people think about. So the first is start really, really, really small. Many of us make the mistake when we're setting up our home practice of creating a routine that is 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 60 minutes long. And while that works for some people, for most of us, that's too much. We're not able to sustain it over the long term. And so I recommend picking just one thing. Pick something that you love to do. It might be a breath practice, a meditation practice, a chanting practice, or maybe it's a yoga pose. Pick one thing. Start there. If you do that one thing and you're inspired to add on to it and you have time to add on to it, by all means, let it grow. But start out making your practice just one thing. And then create some intentionality around your practice. So that means picking when you're going to do it very specifically. When does it fit into your day? How often do you want to do it? So if you're doing just one thing, some people like to do that several times a day. Some people like to do it only once or twice a week, but on a specific day at a specific time. So get really, really clear on what your goal is. And then set up some structure and support for yourself. So have maybe a dedicated space or know where it is that you're going to do that practice. And then also give yourself some reminders of some kind. And maybe you want to support that practice by having your meditation cushion or your mat ready to go, or by having a reminder that comes up on your computer, or by consistently doing that practice every day before you get into bed. So those kinds of structural things can be really, really important for our success. And the last thing I would say is that a successful home practice always allows for evolution. Okay, it's not rigid. It adjusts as our lives adjust. It matches the fluctuations in our circumstances, in our energy, in our physical and emotional, mental state. And so it's important to have a process where you are mindful and continue to notice, is this working for me? And when it's not working, rather than beating yourself up about it, see if you can get really clear on why is it not working? And what one small thing could I maybe change to make this easier for me to do right now? And hopefully the result will be then a long-term sustainable home yoga practice. I hope that's the case. If you have any questions or if I can provide any more support with this, please reach out. I love helping people create a practice that works for them. And I'd love to hear how it's going and what specific pitfalls you're running into. Maybe I'll make a video about those in the future.